The golden age of sports gave a new meaning to America's national pastime and brought an array of sports into light. Coming right out of the Black Sox scandal, the 1920s redefined sports and what it meant to Americans.
By the end of the 19th century, organizing sporting events had become a business and athletes had become important national figures. There is no doubt that sports have been a large part of American culture, but how did athletes and the press redefine this era into the golden age of sports? Ballyhoo. Noun. Loud, exaggerated, or sensational advertising or promotion. First seen in the mainstream press around 1910. The term's usage peaked in the 1920s. Part of the reason why sports became so popular during this time is not only because of the talented athletes, but because of the publication of sports in the media. For example, newspapers.
The average daily newspaper devoted at least 15% of its reporting to sports in the 1920s, up from less than 1% in 1880. More lyrical sports writers were being hired, not only due to the public's want for sports coverage, but because of their ability to create excitement in their worlds and keep readers interested. Furthermore, radio broadcasting let large amount of people everywhere hear in real time what was going on in games, keeping people in the loop. However, with the media, of course, comes the popular athletes that contributed to this era. Tennis. Helen Wills Moody was the most popular female tennis player of the 1920s through 30s. Throughout her career, Wills Moody won 7 U.S. Open singles, the French Championship 4 times, the French doubles twice, Wimbledon doubles twice, and Wimbledon singles 8 times. At the peak of her career in 1920s, Wills Moody was made a classic beauty, not only for her great talent in tennis, but also liberated women from restrictive tennis uniforms, which at the time were long sleeves and ankle-length skirts. She believed that comfort and playability were more important than false modesty. Bill Tilden, like Helen Wills Moody, was a dominant tennis player of the time. He won the U.S. Championship 7 times and became the first American to win England's Wimbledon Championship, then continued to win another 2 Wimbledon Championships. Along with Helen Wills Moody, he was put into the International Tennis Hall of Fame in 1959.
Swimming. Gertrude Elderly was a swimmer famous not only for her participation in the 1924 Olympics, but also for her accomplishment as the first woman to swim across the English Channel in 1926. Her most impressive accomplishment would be her 21-mile swim through the English Channel. Coating her body with lanolin to protect from jellyfish stings and the cold water, Elderly completed her swim after 14 hours and 31 minutes, supervised on a tugboat by her family and trainer. She set the record, beating the previous male swimmers. Boxing. Gene Tunney was a professional boxer during the golden age of sports. Although not one of the more popular sports, there is no doubt that Gene Tunney gained popularity due to the attention surrounding sports during this time. One of his most popular fights was against Jack Dempsey, which he won. Jack Dempsey was regarded as the greatest heavyweight prizefighter of the 1920s. His most popular fight was in 1926, where he lost the title as heavyweight champion to Gene Tunney due to a controversial long count which saved him. Seen in the next clip.
Dempsey stays near the fallen fighter, but referee Dave Barry points for Jack to move to a neutral corner. Only then does he begin the count. Is Tunney dazed, or is he wisely taking full advantage of these precious extra seconds? Tunney is up at the referee's count of 9.
Football. Red Grange was called a pioneer of American football. Grange joined the National Football League in 1925, legitimizing the sport. He earned a place in the Professional Football Hall of Fame for playing with the Chicago Bears for 8 years as a halfback. He went on to becoming a radio and television commentator for the sport, and his legacy still lives on.
Baseball. Satchel Paige was part of a widely known colored baseball league and one of its greatest players. He was called the world's greatest pitcher, guaranteed to strike out the first 9 men, which he often did. One of his pitches, called the hesitation pitch, was even banned from baseball. Lou Gehrig was a first baseman for the New York Yankees. He was also known as the Iron Horse for playing 2,130 consecutive games and hit an average of 147 home runs a year. Gehrig, along with Babe Ruth, led the Yankees to 7 pennants and 6 World Series titles in his 14 seasons. Gehrig was often shadowed by Ruth, but was described as a perfect gentleman, opposite of Ruth's less humble personality. Babe Ruth is one of the most loved and popular baseball players of all time. He broke dozens of records during his time with the New York Yankees, and in 1920, he hit more home runs than any other team. At one point, earned $80,000 a year from the Yankees, which was more than what the U.S. president earned at the time.
In conclusion, the golden age of sports was influenced by the ballyhoo surrounding the sports world, but also the phenomenal athletes that became national figures and legends who are still talked about today.